What's up? Hi, welcome. Actually hoping everything goes well. Last time I did a live, we weren't able to all be together because we couldn't go live for some weird reason. So we had to pre-record it, but I actually prefer you guys to all be here with us. So fingers crossed. There's no issues because we're gonna get into this episode tonight. Oh, there's so much drama to unpack. Hey Gina. Hi Vanja. Hi Grandma of Gus. Hi Billy. Hi everybody. We're waiting on Cara to get here so we can start. Fingers crossed everything goes well. There's issues with Instagram last week. We couldn't do the live. We had to do a pre-record, which I don't like to do. I like to talk to all of you. I like to have everybody's opinions and thoughts. So hopefully we can get Cara in here and there's no issue so we can get into this because, man, this was a crazy episode. Took a turn, right? So yeah, there's just a lot. So I'm adding Cara now. Let me know in the comments if everything is going well. Hi to Diva Speaks.
Hey.
Hey.
Whoa.
Fingers crossed, right? I'm hoping everything is good because we tried this last week a lot and there was all these issues. So guys, in the comments and the chat, please let us know if you can see us and hear us and everything looks and sounds normal so we can get started because, man, there's so much I want to get into. This episode kept me glued to the couch, right? Like there was a lot.
So much.
All right, so okay, I don't see any comments that say anything is wrong. So I think we're good to go. I think we're good. Okay, it's working. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay, so I want to get into okay, so I want to start off with some non-suitable for work conversation, right? Because we were with Brian and Ingrid, and I learned tonight, this is the learning channel that we're watching, that women find oral sex more intimate than sex, which I did not know. So Brian, being a man, felt rejected because he thought that this was like the next best thing, and then Ingrid broke down for us and was like, this is something that you do. And actually Brian's sister Reese also broke it down for us as well, like this is very intimate. You don't want people that you don't know well this in that area of your body. And I kind of understand that, but it's like men, they were right. It's not that serious for a guy. A guy will get oral sex from a woman or whatever that he's not even dating. Like it's not even that serious. So I think that there is a bridge gap, an unbridged gap, right, between men and women and what they like and don't like and what they want and what they don't want. And it was interesting because a good lesson was learned here. You have to ask a woman if that's what she wants. And I think Brian didn't realize that. I didn't realize it either. You just assume that people want that, and it's a gap between.
I just want to say the American culture is a little bit different. Also, relationships are different. If you've been in a relationship for a while and you guys have been together more than once, I understand it. But if the first time you meet and he's showing you how to put in his catheter and he's using a condom to do so, and all of this, like this guy's so full of shit. He's so full of shit. She just didn't want it. I mean, yes, you should always get consent. Absolutely. Yes, it's very intimate. But this guy is creeper status 1000. So,
I mean, you're not wrong. 2 years. They've known each other for 2 years, talking for 2 years, and there's so much information that he omitted from her. And, I'm a big person that believes omitting information is lying. A lot of people will argue with me. Judges will argue with me. Like, if you omit information, I see it as a lie. Some people look at it as proprietary information, right? Like, if it's not needed to tell, you don't have to tell. But in my opinion, if you purposely omit information that would be useful to another person and the decisions that they make, you're lying. You're manipulating them. Because if you know that they could make a different choice if you gave them the right information, that's pure manipulation. You're manipulating them to do what you want to do by withholding information. So I just think that, I don't know, he rubs me the wrong way. He definitely comes across as a creeper, but I think that he uses his being a quadriplegic as like a, you have to feel bad for me type thing. So you can't be mad at me, you have to. And I was like, no, I understand that his situation is serious and it affects every aspect of his life, but it's never an excuse to be a liar or to manipulate women or to take advantage of people. Like, that's never an excuse. I don't care what you have going on disability wise. You know, you can still be a good human being. And I feel like he's just not a good human being.
Also, whether he asked her or not, if he started, she said no, and then he got pissed off because she said no, that's bullshit. That is just bullshit.
Well, yeah. Okay. So I was watching this news story on X the other day, and it was like a guy asked a girl for her phone number. She said no, and then the guy punched the girl in the face. And I was like, see, I'm pissed off at the whole situation, because it's like, if you ask someone for consent and they say no, you have to respect what they give as their answer, right? If she's not ready, you don't have the right to get mad or feel like she's rejecting you, or he's like, oh, she's just using this as a cop out because she's not attracted to me. I was like, she's probably not attracted to you because of your character, not necessarily because you're in a wheelchair. It's, she doesn't like the fact that you keep lying to her, you keep manipulating her, and you won't be honest. Like, that's the issue. Like,
nothing to do with your freaking wheelchair.
Well,
buddy.
yeah,
it's
everything goes back.
So
everything goes back to that, and I just hate it, because I feel like he's giving people that suffer from what he suffers from a bad name, right? Like, there are people who are quadriplegic who are in good relationships, healthy relationships, who don't lie to people, who don't manipulate people, who don't take advantage of people. So don't make it seem like this is linked to you being a quadriplegic. You're just a shitty dude who happens to be quadriplegic, right? Like, I don't like that.
She said, and I quote, that he's crude, he's brute, he's incomprehensible. And when she said no, he got angry like he was dying.
Wow.
That's
what I'm saying. Actually, speaking of saying no, so we were talking about Renee and Chitty last week. So we saw the aftermath of Renee asking Chitty to go to the hotel, and he said no, right? And she was like, she got really pissed off, and she's like, oh, you're not a man. You have to ask your mom and daddy. You can't be in a healthy relationship. And she basically demeaned him because he wouldn't go to the hotel. And it's like, I do agree that he just didn't want to go, right? I do understand that him saying, oh, I have to prepare it. No, you can just go.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's local. So you can just go. And if you forgot something at home, you could just go back and get it. So yeah, he didn't want to go. I agree that he should be honest, but I feel like he's afraid of her. And I feel like being alone with her is such a bad idea. Yeah. And I feel like him not going is in his best interest of safety. He should not be alone with her. And I know that she's like, oh, I don't want his sister around, she's too judgmental. And I was like, well, is she judgmental, or you just don't like the fact that he has people to come to his defense if you were to get in his face and start screaming and acting an idiot? I feel like that's your issue. You don't like the fact that when you were yelling at him in that room, the entire family came to his defense and you felt outnumbered. And I think that's what bothered her. She doesn't like the idea that she can't act crazy and not be held accountable. The whole family was in there ready to come after her. I think she doesn't like it.
Yep. I agree. I'm so done with these people, and I'm going to go over here, I'm going to get on TV, and I'm going to, act all crazy. Well, acting all crazy, acting all abusive, and sex abuse, let's just be real. Let's call it what it is. It's out of control. And TLC needs to stop this shit. Period. Yeah. They should have booted Brian from the jump. They should have been like, you know what? As soon as she came out, she was devastated. She was talking with the producers. She's like, the way he got angry when I said no, they should have said done and done. Yeah, because we're not watching Dateline, right? Like, I do feel like we are watching, I feel like we're watching true crime, and that's not what I signed up for. I like to be entertained. I don't want anyone to actually be in danger, right? And I feel like we're treading a fine line between. I feel about this trip they have planned together. Now they're gonna leave together. This is like, she shouldn't go. She should not go. Well, supposedly he's gonna be meeting her family, which that's not gonna go well. And I like the idea that he's meeting her family because I want people to be there to defend her, right? Because she's always alone. You wouldn't get to meet my neighbor's cousin's sister's hamster. Not a chance. I mean, yeah, I don't see why the purpose they're moving forward with meeting family and doing the relationship isn't going to go anywhere. There's no point. Just like Lauren is planning on meeting with Faith's parents, right? There's no reason to
bring family members into this, like, because she's not even introducing Lauren as her boyfriend. Lauren is just her friend now, because she said in this episode she has friend zoned him. She is not looking for anything romantic with him, which I think was an excellent choice.
Yeah.
Right? I think that finding out that he was cheating on you because he had gonorrhea just shows you you're not in the right situation.
And
because say he
way
did,
he talks about it, like he's talking about, you know, the hot dogs at the baseball game. He just talks about it, and he smirks, and he's so disgusting. This guy is so disgusting. I cannot with him.
well, it's very easy Sunday conversation. Like, STDs are very normal to him. Like, for instance, I've never had an STD, and I would love, right? We would love to keep it that way.
Yes.
So when we hear people say like, "Oh, that's nothing. You take a pill and then there's no more discharge,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "What is discharge?" Right?
It's sludge. He said.
Now that is a scary situation. So that's enough for me to think I don't want to be with a person who thinks that getting and giving STDs to people is normal, because I don't want to be a part of that type of situation. I don't want to get one. I don't want to be given one. I don't want to have one. I've gone my whole life so far without getting one, knock on wood. Like, I would love to keep it that way, right? So I think that the whole situation, he brought up the fact that he was like, a nice home in the Philippines is $2,000, right? US dollars, which is crazy, right? That's crazy. You can't even get a car here for that. And so he's saying now it's possible if I was to save up enough money, if I was to buy your mother a house, would that make...
First of all, as soon as he said, I need to save up enough money to buy your mom a house, you have to save up $2,000 to buy a house?
Cara, yes, he has he had $46 when he got there. He had literally $46.
Get a freaking loan. Like, call one of your friends, get a loan. You're scraping money on the floor for all these dancers in Vegas. You can't tell me this icky, nasty, gonorrhea-filled yuck isn't pocketing $5 or $10 here and there. This guy is scraping money from the floor.
I think that he's really bad with money, right? Because there's no reason why. There's nothing wrong with him, like physically or mentally. I don't want to say that, I'm not a doctor. No. But there's nothing wrong with him that he can't hold a job and make money, right? Like, I feel like if he was to get a job...
Hold on. No, there's something mentally wrong with this guy.
But see, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
Neither
I don't know.
I can tell you that it is not normal, and I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you it is not normal to talk about gonorrhea like you're asking someone what they want for dinner tonight and smiling about it.
It's not. Or we're really...
It's not right up here.
I think he could hold a job and make money. I'm going to say that. I think that he's got things going on, but nothing to the point where he couldn't be successful. He doesn't have to be a couch surfing, toilet shrimp guy. Like, I feel like he could easily do more if he wanted to. And again, I'm not a doctor. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. Like, I can't say that he literally could be a CEO of a company, but I feel like if he really wanted to have a job where he could make $2,000 a month, I think that he could make that happen. I think if he tried and really wanted to, he could. But the idea that he's telling her, like,
I don't know what McDonald's pays in Las Vegas, but here in my very small town with a population of like 3,000 people at best, that's if you have company, you make more than $2,000 a month at McDonald's.
Well, yeah.
And I
that's what I'm saying.
promise the people at my McDonald's have no gonorrhea.
Well, we don't know that. We're hoping that.
I promise. And if they did, they're not going to go on national TV and tell you about it.
Well, no. If you do happen to get gonorrhea, the only people who will know are you and your doctor, right? Because that's normal. You're not going to really, if you don't need to tell them, like, legally because y'all had sex, you're not going to go and just advertise it to nobody. Like, you and your doctor, and maybe the pharmacist who filled the prescription, they might know, because that's that.
Right, but there, you just said that's what's normal.
Yes.
Doing is not normal, and I'm
right.
not a doctor. I am not a doctor, and I am officially diagnosing him with the disgusting.
Oh yeah. He's got the ick.
Yeah,
he's got the ick. Yeah, that's definitely a fact, and you could tell that Faith has it. She has the ick for him. She's just like, you're icky. I don't want. When they got to her hometown, and she had reserved one room. She got him his own room. She's like, no, this is an icky person.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be, because you know, you could easily share a room with someone and you don't do anything, right? Like I've taken trips where we had to share rooms. Nobody did anything, but she didn't even want to be in the same room.
Right.
So you know that Faith is just like, no, this is icky. I don't even want to breathe the same air if I don't have to.
Yep.
So I think that she's really seeing the person that she thought he was and the person that he is are just two different people. And you can't date a person you don't know. She doesn't know the gonorrhea side of him. She knows the person that she met on FaceTime and on video calls who pretended to be a decent human being. And that's the person that she thought was going to come visit her. And now she's dealing with gonorrhea guy. Yeah. And, you know, she doesn't even know what to do because she's like, I can't introduce this gonorrhea person to my parents as my boyfriend. Yeah. You know, like she's like, I can't do that. Oh, so we have to talk about something that Lauren said. So first of all, Faith revealed to us that she's a bottom, obviously, because she's a trans woman. Trans women like to be the woman in the relationship, so she's the bottom. And then Lauren revealed that he's the bottom. So I don't really know how that works, but he did say that he could do either one. He said basically, I would do whatever she asked me to do, which is weird.
But he also literally said he doesn't use his penis in the bedroom. His gonorrhea, he does not, not use.
Which is good, right? That's good. I'm really wondering.
Like, it shouldn't be shared with anybody, but for some reason, there's at least one person a week sleeping with this man. So that's my other question. So he's only getting oral sex from these women, right? Because
wait, how do we know that? Did he say that?
Because that's what he said. Well, he claims this friend gave him oral sex, and that's how he got gonorrhea. So that's what he says. Yeah. But then in another episode, he says he's sleeping with one friend a week at least. So are you telling me there's more than one female that's crazy enough to sleep with gonorrhea shrimp toilet guy and be okay with it?
Are we talking females though? Because I feel like it's probably not.
Okay, humans. Are there that many sick humans in the world?
Well, okay, so I saw this weird video online before, and it was like two homeless people having sex on the side of the road. So like, I'm just gonna say, like, everybody has sex, right? I'm just being honest, right? Everybody has sex. So let's just say that there's people in Vegas that are not a crowd you would really want to associate.
You can be homeless and not have gonorrhea.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, we're right. These people on the side of the road having sex, they probably didn't even have gonorrhea. They were cleaner than that.
Homeless people have no penis sludge.
Well, no, they don't.
Or
they have no penis sludge. But okay, so I want to talk about hold on, there was something else about, the hormonal penis. So he said that he prefers a female penis over a man penis. Now, I grew up in the church, Cara. I don't know what this means. So can you help me? I don't understand what this means.
I don't either, honestly.
What is a female penis? It's an oxymoron. Like, it's not a real thing. But he said when a woman is on hormones, which, by the way, Faith says she's not on hormones. But he said, because they're expensive. Apparently they're expensive to get. So, but he was like, I could just get hormones for her, which I'm not sure how he could, but whatever. Right. But he said that he prefers his trans women to be on hormones, so their penis is a female penis. Does that mean it shrinks?
I have no idea. I literally rewound it because I was like, wait, are they different?
Well, right. I don't understand.
I thought that when I'm very uneducated, but I thought that when trans people took the opposing sex hormones, that it just like either if you take it young enough, it alters the visual of the Adam's apple, changes the voice, grows the breasts. I didn't think it did anything with the genitals.
Neither did I, because that's why a lot of trans people don't feel complete until they get the bottom surgery, because they still feel like it's not the correct.
Yes.
Right. So I don't know, maybe the testicle shrink. Like, I didn't have time to Google it because I was just like, well, what does that mean?
Serious research.
Well, yeah, we'll have to research it. I don't know. And it's never come up on the show before because, we've had Nikki Exotica on the show, but she's already transitioned. So we didn't
Yeah.
really have these type of conversations because these are pre-op conversations. So
Right.
we haven't really had this on the show before. So I was just like, I don't really know. Oh, and we had Gabe on the show as well. But again, this was post.
Right.
So we didn't really get to have these type of conversations. So like you said, I don't know enough to understand what that even means. But something you said earlier, he said that he was getting oral sex from people and that's how he got gonorrhea. But then he said that he doesn't use his penis during sex at all.
Yeah.
So it's very
That's
contradicting.
None of everything that spews out of this guy's mouth and other orifices is all just gross. It's just gross. This guy is spewing out every orifice.
Yeah, it's like there's no reason why I should know so much about him and his sexual preferences, me saying that I've never met him in my life. That's
Right.
I feel like those are such intimate details of his life. I know what he prefers, what he doesn't. I know everything.
Yeah.
You know, I know what diseases and STDs. Yeah. Oh yeah, Laura, they're both bottom. So Faith is the bottom, and I guess pitcher receiver, right, is kind of how you explain it. So they both would be the receiver. So again, I don't even know how this would work. He did well. Lauren said that he would be the pitcher if need be. But it's interesting that they've never had these conversations, right? Like for a straight couple, like a male and a female, you don't necessarily have to have that type of conversation,
Right?
It's a given. You know, you might talk positions, but you don't really have to talk about that. But in this situation, it's a very unique situation. You would think that this conversation would come up, right? Like you would think that you would want to decide, because if you both have a penis, you would be like, well, do you, because you know there are people who are trans who despise that part of their body. They don't want it there. So you would need to have a conversation.
Carlos and Valentine.
Right. You're exactly right. And
they had this whole problem too.
They were dating for years.
Yeah.
And the funny part is they knew they had the conversation, but still tried to move forward, both being tops, and tried to move forward. And again, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that it's added pressure and added things to worry about when you're in a more unique relationship. There's more things that can go wrong. Yeah. There's more things that you cannot see eye to eye on. But when it comes to Lauren, it's like, what does a healthy relationship look like for Lauren? Like, what would it look like? Because I'm so confused at him in general. Like, what would a healthy relationship look like? Because we've seen all the things that he said about his ex-wife and how much he can't stand, you know, the fact that he has kids and he has child support. And it's like, what does a healthy relationship look like for him? Because I don't know.
A healthy relationship for him is this white jacket. It goes like this, ties around the back.
I think those are called straight jackets, right?
In that, alone in his bathroom, yes.
So nobody else is allowed to be there.
Literally.
Just him. Yes. So that's the healthiest version of a relationship, keeping everyone else away. Yes. Okay, that is healthy, because you can't hurt anybody who's not allowed to see you.
Yes.
Right? So I guess you're right. Okay, so
spreading your penis sludge elsewhere.
Well, yeah, that should be. Isn't it illegal? Like if you know you have an STD and you have sex with someone, they can take you to court, right?
Yeah, I think it's a law. Well, in most states, I know it's a law in Oregon that if you have something serious like that, you have to report to like the health department.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
okay, because I've seen people be held accountable for knowingly spreading sexually transmitted diseases. I've seen it on the news. I've seen it online where they were held, accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Because you're basically, especially when it comes to certain ones that are not curable. Yep. That's where it gets really serious, because you're giving someone something that they could never get rid of, and you knew it. So, so I want to talk about the Niles maxims. So he had 20 maxims that he wrote that he lives by, and he gave them to Matilda, and she did not read them. So they went to this beautiful memorial for Ghana's first president, and he had her read them, which was funny because it was in preparation for their proposal. So he bored her with the maxims. She's going through the maxims, but she doesn't really understand. And he finally proposes to her, and she's completely caught off guard because she had basically zoned him out because she was bored with whatever was going on. And then in the process of the moment of proposing to her, he does not use that, because I felt like the best way to do it was to soften the blow by, here's a ring, I want to marry you. Also, we can't get married right now. I feel like it needed to happen at the very moment. So it would, you know how you have a very positive thing and followed by a negative thing and they kind of even each other out?
Yeah.
The fact that he decided to just do the one positive thing and let her be happy and skip all the way home, and then later in the day go and drop this bomb on her, I think that he set himself up.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I know that he's not ready, and I know that he thinks this is the right thing to do, but I'm kind of on Matilda's side at this point because she's been bringing up the wedding for months, and he hasn't said no. And she's beyond the point of no return. She's invited people, over 200 people. And, you know, I don't know if she rented a hall. I don't know if they're going to have it, you know, in a certain place. I don't know what's going on with that. But I know that there's people invited. And
That's
her family
a lot
knows.
of people, too.
So over 200 people. I've been to weddings where there was only 75 people.
Yeah.
She's talking over 200 people. And I'm sorry. I know that he's not ready, but this is 100% his fault. He needed to tell her what was going on before she planned everything. And I think that
have proposed. He should not have proposed. He should have taken her on this nice date, all that stuff, and then said, you know, I wanted to propose to you here, but unfortunately I can't marry you on this trip, so I'm going to propose when I'm ready to be able to marry you. Blah, 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 blah. You're so beautiful, all this schmoozy stuff. He could have done that later. But to propose and then turn around and say, just kidding.
whoa. It's insult to injury, and it's making her feel rejected. And not only that, it's going to cause embarrassment. She went and told everybody. You know, we have every now and then we have a couple of friends where they kind of smile every time something goes wrong in your life. So now that all of the people that she's told that she's going to get married, there's going to be a couple people who laugh when they find out that the wedding isn't going to happen. And especially when it comes to women, they have, you know, women have some petty friends, you know, and they're just like, oh, you told me you're going to get married. He's not going to marry you. And, you know, and then there's that stigma of negativity, of rejection and being laughed at. You know, you go to the grocery store and the ladies on the other side of the grocery store are laughing. You think they're laughing at you because you went and told everybody in your whole town you were going to get married, and now you're not getting married. So like, I'm team Matilda the whole way. Like, I don't think that she's in it for the right reasons, but I think the way that he went about it, I'm surprised that she didn't throw a drink at him when he.
Me too. Especially since he ordered 2 AMFs.
I was like, you are so lucky you did not catch a drink to the face. I would never.
Literally ordered her a drink with 8 shots of alcohol in it and expected it to go smooth.
Well, okay, so my first thought was maybe having a couple of drinks in her will make her a little more calm, but don't get her drunk.
Yeah,
right?
in Oregon, as a bartender, it is against the law to sell more than 2 AMFs in one shift to the same person.
So that's drunk. So that's like drunk. That's
one's gonna knock you into next week.
That's take the person's keys and lock them up.
Absolutely.
Drunk, right?
That's take the person's keys and hope to God they brought their best friend to clean up the vomit.
So I was floored though, because I was like, man, it's hard because I understand his stance because they literally just met for the first time. I would never in a million years advise anyone to marry somebody that you just met. I don't care if you've been talking on the phone for 5 years. I don't care. If you just met them, you need more time to determine who this person is. So I'm fully understanding of his side, but I just don't like the way he did it. And no woman deserves to go through what he put her through. First of all, he made her the happiest woman in the world earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And then the same day, he went and made her feel like the lowest woman in the world. And again, I understand with autism, he doesn't have the compassion and sympathy or he doesn't think about how his actions affect people's feelings and emotions. I understand. I totally understand. But I just feel like there was a better way. You know, he needs somebody that he can confide in to help him with his relationships. I really wish that there was somebody who could guide him better, because she might not be the one, but she's probably just going to dump his ass regardless, right? Like, I don't know many women who will put up with this. Oh, the drink was called, what was it? Something mother effer, right?
It's an adios motherfucker.
Yeah, it's an adios motherfucker. It's a very, very strong drink, photo mom. And, you know, I thought that it was smart to take her and get her, a drink or two in her before it helps when you're going to tell somebody bad news, but don't get them drunk, because when people are drunk, they tend to act straight out of emotion. So when you tell a woman something like, oh, remember the wedding that you planned and all these people are coming, it's not happening. That's when you get smacked.
So you're going to let her have the drink, and then the next day you can be like, gosh, I'm so glad that we talked about not having the wedding this time last night. I'm so glad we had that conversation. When she says, what? Don't you remember we were sitting at the bar? We talked about it. You agreed that now is not the time.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. Okay, so
too many.
I want to talk about Boja, because we found out some new stuff about Boja tonight. You know what's funny though? I had my suspicions all along, right? Because I was like, 38-year-old basketball player. Like, I don't know how they do basketball in Croatia, but in America, when you turn 38, they're expecting you to resign because you're considered nursing home age. For sports. For sports, you like have a very short shelf life. I don't know a whole lot about sports, but I know when you're 20, every team wants you. And when you're 40, nobody wants you anymore. Like, I know this about sports. And we found out that there was a time in Boja's life he made a little bit of money playing basketball.
Semi-pro
basketball. But this is far and long in the past. He's lying to Vanja and saying that he's still a active semi-pro basketball player when he just plays at the local hoop down the street in his neighborhood, which I just knew it. I just had a weird feeling. He was, and I'm not like going after size, but when he said he was under 6 feet, and then he said his age, and then he told me where he lived, and I was like, you live with your mom? I was like, I know basketball players like in real life, and none of them live with their mom, unless their mom has like a house behind their mansion.
Well, looking at him with all of his friends playing, he's not just under 6 feet. He's under like 5'5".
Right. He's like 5'5", 5'4" at best. And again, you don't judge a book by its cover. I've seen some people. I had friends that were shorter that played basketball, whatever. But when you're trying,
I want to be clear when I say I'm 5'3¼ and I cannot jump.
Oh no, me neither. I can't play sports. I can't play basketball. I'm no good at that stuff. I just never. I've tried. I'm no good at it. I'm 5'10", like 5'9.5". I'm not even that tall. I'm the shortest person in my family. I think my sister and I are like the same height. My brother's like 7 inches taller than me. And then my mom's youngest sister, all of her children are over 6'3". And she has
That's crazy.
Right, and she has 5 kids.
My family's short.
Really?
Every one of us. Yes.
Well, on my mom's side, people are like a little like 6 feet or below. And then there's my mom's one sister. She has 5 kids. They're all over 6'3". I think one of them is like 6'7". They're like
my dad was 5'10". My good brother, he passed away when he was 31, and he was 5'2.25". And then my horrible, nasty, rotten sister, she's like a Shetland human. She's like 4 foot something. She's just a nasty. But
that's very short.
I have a very good sister who lives in Vegas, and she's nothing like Lauren, and she's beautiful, and she's like 5'8".
Oh, okay. I mean, there's a lot of amazing people in Vegas. I have really close friends that live in. Not everyone is out there just giving and getting gonorrhea from people in Vegas. Like, don't think that that's what's going on. I have very close friends that live in Vegas. They are not giving or getting gonorrhea to anyone. They're doing.
And Patrick, I don't think Patrick and Thais have gonorrhea either, and they're doing it right.
No, they don't. They're very clean. I love them, actually. They're very good. But okay, so his mom, Boja's mom, prayed every day that he would find a woman to relieve the burden of her son from her, which I thought was really interesting because, usually when you meet with someone's mom and they tell you about their son, especially if it's a Jewish mom, their son is basically the son of God. They're the most amazing person. And she was just like, I just hope somebody comes and scoops this guy up. Just somebody. It doesn't even matter who it is, if she's a woman, transition, whatever. Somebody just come and scoop this guy up.
Someone take him off my hands. Make him go live in your basement.
Was just hilarious because she knew he wasn't a catch, and I just loved her because I was like, see, this is what, if mothers were this brutally honest, their kids would work a little harder. Because I've watched the news and somebody robbed the bank and the mom's like, he's such a good boy, and I'm like, ma'am, That's him in the cuffs. We're past that.
It's just because she was home hiding the cash.
Right. It is like, she was just like, no, somebody, please God, please anyone, any country, any part of the world, you want to send an alien, whoever you want to send to take this man off my hands, that would be amazing. And then, we found out also the reason he ghosted, well, first of all, he's ghosting Vanja the whole time she's flying to Croatia. But the reason why he ghosted her for 2 months while they were dating is he tried to get back with his ex-girlfriend, which I find to be very grimy.
Yes.
And that is such a grimy thing. So basically he put her on the back burner and was like, and then tried to work it out with his ex and then didn't tell her right away. And then when
I was taking my notes as he started talking about her, he said he put sports in front of his biggest love for 6 years. And in parentheses, I put, he's still in love with her. And then it came out that he put Vanya on the back burner so that he could try to get back with her. And I was like, well, there it is.
Well, the reason why he moved forward with Vanja is because this ex-girlfriend wouldn't.
Yes.
And you got to watch it when you're in that type of situation. Because say him and Vanja, hypothetically, they worked out. And they're going to be together for a couple of years. Say 3 years down the line, this ex-girlfriend calls him. He's going to drop everything that he has to go be with this person because he's still in love with this person. So that's why it's important to me when I ask people, how did your last relationship end?
Yes.
Because if they got dumped and they wanted to stay with that person, then there's a possibility that if that person that dumped them ever changed their mind, they would drop you like you never existed.
And that's it, because she's local. She's there with him. And you know
right.
what they all say, women want what they can't have, or men want what they can't have. So she doesn't want him right now. But the second she finds out he's in a relationship with someone else, a beautiful blonde from the United States that has something to offer, all of a sudden she's going to want him back. So
yeah. And honestly, she can have him. Vanja, let him have him. Like the fact that she works 4 jobs and she's so successful, she's so talented, and she's a hard worker. And he lied to her about having a job. You know, that is like, that's a huge thing. Even his mom said it. She was like, there's basic things in relationships that you need to tell people. Yeah. Whether or not you're working is not something that you just lie about. You have to be honest. And even she was like, you're going to ruin the only chance you have at getting the hell out of my house by lying to her.
So many lies. It's just, but also the 10 minutes for the connecting flights running in 5-inch heels. Did that remind you of anyone?
Darcy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was that's definitely Darcy. And another thing, this has happened to me too. I remember I was flying, I don't remember where, but we had a connecting flight in Detroit. And wherever we were, okay, so when we got to Detroit, I don't know. I'm not going to get this right. But wherever we landed, the plane that we were supposed to get on, there was something wrong with it. So we got on the plane and we were moving back, like pulling back, and we hit something. So something on that plane broke. So they took us off the plane and put us on another plane. So by the time I landed in the next place, I had like 15 minutes to get from one gate to the next.
No way.
And I didn't make it. I want to say it was in Atlanta. And you know, that airport is just insane. I ran and ran and ran. I got to the gate. The plane was still at the gate. But apparently there's like a aviation law that the doors have to be closed for 15 minutes before it can taxi. So they were not going to, they had already closed it or they were not going to let me on. So I understood because I was like, she probably made it. The plane was probably still there, but there's an aviation law that the doors have to be closed at the tarmac for 15 minutes before they can push back. So she probably made it. But first of all, she has to be crazy to be running through the airport in heels. She has to be insane. Like, I don't love anybody that much to put my feet in danger. Right?
The same thing at the San Francisco airport with a 20-minute layover, trying to get to my next gate. It was a whole thing. So the last time I went to Vegas, I paid $300 extra to not land in San Francisco.
Are you serious? I get it.
I flew to Salt Lake City instead.
I mean, sometimes you have to be proactive. First of all, depending on the airline you fly on, some of them are just prone to having late and delayed flights. So you got to be, that's why if it's like not a straight, what do you call it, direct flight, I'll pay more for it because it's just less stress for me. But yeah, he won't take her phone calls. Hey, Kim's on Pillow Talk tonight, guys. He won't take her phone calls while she's traveling, which I'm trying to understand because we were watching
Yeah.
him.
That was the thing with his mom.
Well, right, we were watching him during the travel process. He wasn't doing anything interesting. Why wouldn't he pick up the phone? Like, it's really weird that you would have like absolutely nothing to offer and you have this beautiful woman flying across the country for you and you don't even have enough decency to pick up the phone when she calls you. Like, it's just, it baffles me. It blows my mind what men think they can get away with. And then I guess also what women let men get away with sometimes, right? Like, sometimes you have to put men in their place. Men think that they can get away with a lot more than they can if you let them.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
so
I hope
Sonny found out about Rory and the shit hit the fan, and it was actually way worse than I thought. Like, I thought
his reaction was everything I was hoping for.
It was way worse than I thought. Like, I thought he was gonna be upset, but I felt like he went from like sweet, innocent, too innocent for this world to MMA fighter Conor McGregor, right? Like, it just took a complete. I was just like, whoa. He was like, get the F out of my face. He was like, go get on a plane. I hate you. And I was just like, whoa, this is a lot. This is a lot because he was sweet. He didn't even know what foreplay meant. Like, he told her to close her eyes to kiss her. I was like, he went from the innocent, sweet dude to I'm scared of him. Like, if I was interacting around that interaction, I would walk the other way. I'm scared he might hit me. Like, I was scared.
Yep. As soon as he started talking in the beginning of the episode, I was like, man, Brian needs to take some lessons from this guy, like serious lessons. And then towards the end, I was like, or maybe not.
I mean, I don't want to blame him for being upset.
Oh,
because I don't like to tell people.
Awesome. He was everything I hoped he would be.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean,
we need to set him up with someone to fix his eyebrows.
Yeah, it's like one big brow at this point. Yeah, we do need to work on that. But other than that, I think he's a catch. And I'm not mad at him for demanding honesty. There's nothing wrong with demanding honesty. Like I said this before, if she wanted to bring somebody on the trip, because honestly, she only sat with him on Rory on the plane, and then she left his ass at the airport. So if she really needed support, she should have I'm pretty sure she had a dog or whatever that she took to the dog sitter, remember?
Yep.
Why didn't she just go file for the emotional support license, the certificate, and take the damn dog with her? The dog could have sat with her on a plane.
Like, also, so I think Rory is the star of this couple. We'll see.
Really?
We'll see him on a spinoff. Yeah, because he's the voice of reason. He's calm. Everybody feels bad that she left him in this hotel, that she basically left him in the airport, just ditched him, had nothing to do with him, blah, blah, blah. I think is the star.
One thing that I did learn from her, she told me, because we were talking a couple weeks ago, and I used to live in Ohio, in the Cleveland area, and so did she, because apparently Rory is from like the Lake County area, which was about the county directly next to where I live, very, very close by. But she's in Orlando, he's all the way in Ohio, so they're over 1,000 miles away from each other. So I do want to like bring up, like, they're definitely not banging, right? Because they're too far away for that. But is she still in love with him? He's still in love with her. Yes. This is her almost baby daddy. They almost had a baby together, so there's definitely something still there. But do you think that she would fly all the way to Durban with her ex, who she's in love with, to meet someone else? Do you think that she would do something like that?
I don't think she's in love with him. I think he's definitely still in love with her.
Oh, so you think he hasn't moved on? She's trying to move on. He hasn't moved on. Okay, I understand.
Moved on more than once. This is just the first time she's moved on out of the country. And I think he's just holding on to her.
I mean, if you make yourself a constant in someone's life, you make it very difficult for that person to move on fully. Yeah. You know, because I hate to say this, because the more that you incorporate that person in your life, the harder it is for you to move forward and build a new relationship. And I know it's hard because some people are like, well, I don't want to just stop talking to someone that I, was so close with for years and years and years. But sometimes if you want to be in a healthy relationship, it's better that you cut off that communication. Because like you said, what if the person is in love with you and they're sabotaging? They're sabotaging their new relationships, and they're inserting themselves to make things worse for you and disguising it as support. A lot of people do that.
I think Rory would do anything for her at any time.
I mean, I thought it was really weird that he would fly all the way from Ohio to Florida and then from Florida to South Africa just because she asked.
Yep.
Because if let's be real, Cara, if you called me and was like, George, I'm flying to South Africa to meet this person, but I want you to go with me. Would you fly to Oregon first and then fly with me to South Africa? I'll be like, I love you, Cara, but I will not be accompanying you on the trip.
Meet halfway,
Well,
but
right. I'll be like, no. I was like, maybe if I could just go there and do my own thing, you know, then that's a possibility.
But if I asked you to go with me to meet my new love interest, and also I'm just gonna bail on you in the airport, and then I'll kind of FaceTime you, and we'll make it super freaking weird. Are you gonna go?
No. The fact that she left the airport and left him sitting outside by the trash can, he didn't even know. Because she was supposed to text him. I don't remember what it was, 777 or
777.
And she didn't even text him. He had no idea. He just randomly had to decide to leave and go to the hotel. He had no idea. She literally just left him there like he wasn't even there. That's why I don't understand why she needed support. She was totally fine on her own. And I get being afraid on the airplane or whatever, but you're not alone. Every time when I have to do like a solo flight, I'm sitting next to somebody. Sometimes I can't stand them and they won't shut up, but I'm not alone.
I flew to Vegas by myself not long ago. I was gone for 7 days.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, so it doesn't bother me. I like to put my hoodie on and my sunglasses and put my movie on, and I'm good. Yeah. Like, I get it, and I know it's not like a 30-hour flight. I get that, but I just think that, here's what I think. I think she told him what he was doing. She told Rory, I'm going to fly to South Africa to meet this guy. I love him. He's great. And then Rory was like, oh, you've never been out of the country. I should go with you. And I think this is how. So I don't think that it was necessarily she needed a support person. I think he wanted to insert himself in her relationship because I feel like that's probably what he's always done since they broke up.
I don't know. I feel like she asked him to go. She was nervous, blah, blah, blah. She was afraid she was going to get there. Sonny wasn't going to be real, and he was her backup plan.
Oh. So, and then they could have had a little trip together in South Africa. I mean, possible. Well, let's see how it goes. Because remember when Scott was he went to the Dominican Republic for what was it?
Lydia,
and then that didn't work out, and then he called Liz.
Yeah.
So let's see if after Sonny disappears, if we start seeing her hanging out with Rory, and if that's the case, that's exactly what happened. Because technically, if things don't work out with Sonny, she should get back on a plane and go home, right? Because that was the only reason why she's there. But if she's like, oh, well, I'm already in South Africa. I already have a hotel. Me and Rory are going to go sightseeing. Then you know this was what the plan was all along. She had a plan, then she had a backup plan.
Yes.
And I'm not against backup plans. You know, I get it.
I mean, everybody should have a backup plan unless it's another relationship. Like,
well, yeah,
why do you need a relationship so bad you have to have one for backup?
Well, yeah, you don't bring your backup relationship to your new relationship meeting. No. That's like going on a date and bringing your backup date to your date.
Yes.
And they're like, well, if my date doesn't work out, my backup date's already here, so we can just sit down and eat. Yes. No one does that, right? Like that's crazy to me. And I understand that you don't, I mean, meeting someone you don't know is crazy and scary, but you met him with a camera crew. So if he was an axe murderer, there was a camera crew with you, so you weren't by yourself. So you were never really in danger, right? Like, because there's a whole camera crew following you around, so you don't really need to bring
that was security. The other thing I was going to point out about Vanya and Bozo. Like, mom's praying. I pray that you meet a woman. There must be cameras around here for something, so I hope it's for a woman. Come on.
She is so ready. I love her. She's like my new favorite cast member because she's just like, because she was like, a woman? You met a woman? And she looked up to the sky like, thank you. Thank you, please.
The fact that her name, hold on, I have her name. I have to find it. The fact that her name is actually Marijuana.
Are you serious?
I'm sure it's Marijuana. But
so like marijuana.
Marijana. I was dying.
I missed that,
I was
but her vibe is totally like that, right? Like
I was
totally
dying.
chill. I totally get that.
I
Like,
was like, I feel like your parents named you that by accident, but it's okay.
well, they were probably high at the time. It was
Sure.
it was a good stash, and they're like, you know what we should call her? Marijuana,
Yeah.
right? Because that's
Dad's
how.
all, we should call her Blunt, and the mom's like, no,
No.
something smoother like marijuana.
I can totally see it. The vibe from
Yes.
her was so chill. Because
Yes.
she was just like, oh, this is my son. I wish he would get married. I wish he would get out of my house. Like, the fact that she was praying, and she's like, I pray every day that some woman will come and take this dude off my hands. Like, I just pray that he would become somebody else's problem. Like, I just love her, because I was like, that's how a lot of these mothers should be.
Yeah.
Like, remember when
Yes.
Debbie was on the show with Colt, and she was trying to make it seem like Larissa wasn't good enough for Colt, and I'll be like, ma'am, you need to be happy that somebody is trying to marry your son. I'm not saying that your son isn't all that, but he's not the cream of the crop, okay?
What
Like,
do you mean not all that? He's not even a little of that.
well, she made it seem like he needed to be with the first lady of the country, and any woman that he met. Remember, she didn't like Jess. She didn't like Larissa. She just thought everybody was no good for her son. And I was like, see, I like Madrona, because she's like, are you a woman? Do you have a pulse?
Yes.
You should marry my son.
Yes.
Right? Like,
2 legs in a heartbeat.
Right?
All I require.
She was like, wait, you're alive? You're not terminally ill? You should marry my son. You know,
You
like,
have a job and a house. Oh my gosh, you are heaven sent.
well, the fact that she has 4 jobs, Vanja's got 4 jobs, I feel like she's a good target for someone like him. I just really want her to know her worth, though. Like, if you were getting ready to get on a plane for a man and you call the man and he doesn't answer the phone, don't get on a plane. Screw that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes 5 seconds, 2 seconds to pick up the phone and say, hey, and see what's going on. What if she was calling because there was an issue? You know,
her flight. She missed her flight.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. She needed to tell him, hey, don't be here at this time, be here at this time. He doesn't even bother to pick up the phone. It's like, ladies, if he can't answer your text or call you back, he's not the one. Yep. You can't lower your standards, you know, to the fact where you call somebody 5, 6, 7 times and they don't answer. Because I don't know anybody in this world who has a cell phone that doesn't know when it's ringing, right? Yep. There's that meme that I share all the time. When my phone rings, I know it's ringing. If it's a certain people, I'm not going to answer it. Absolutely. But I know it's ringing, right? Yep. So when I look at it and I'm like, if I don't pick up, you know I saw. Don't nobody can sit here and lie to you and say, I did not see your call. Bullshit. I know when my phone, everybody knows when their phone is ringing. Their caller ID is whether or not we're going to talk to you. And he knew, right? He knew that Vanja was calling and he didn't want to talk to her. And that's an issue for me. Like, you're a 38-year-old unemployed man who lives with his mom, and this beautiful woman with 4 jobs is flying across the world, and all she wants you to do is pick up, and you can't pick up. That's an issue for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so, oh, in this episode, Tiger Lily and Adnan were in there, and she was leaving. There wasn't really much to talk about. So she was surprised that it was hard to leave him, because everything surprises Tiger Lily. You notice that she just doesn't have any foresight. Because she's like, oh, I didn't realize that it would be difficult to leave him. And I'm like, so you've never, like, gotten on a plane and left anybody before? Did you think it was going to be fun? Right? Did you think it was going to be fun? Like, when you left your parents' house to go to college, was it fun? No, it's usually a sad situation. Like, she irritates me because everything is a surprise to her.
I'm so irritated with this couple already. I mean, I've been irritated from the beginning. But the fact that they keep talking about building a family and starting a family and blah, blah, blah. What about combining a family and adding on to it? We're not even talking about her kids.
No, like, she brought up her kids for the first time tonight when she said, I'm excited to get back home to see my kids. And I was like, holy shit, you have kids. Because
that was in the ITM. That was in her interview in the moment.
I'm still not convinced Adnan knows she has children. I'm not convinced. Exactly. And so I'm like really questioning if she hid that from him. Yep. Because even when he was saying he wanted to have kids, he didn't say, well, yeah, I want to have kids so your son and daughter could have a brother or something. No, he just said, I want to have a family. I'm not convinced that she told them. And I mean, again, he's pretty airheaded.
A boy and a girl, like, that's what I've got. That's what she should have said. She has a boy and a girl.
Right. And when he said that, she was like, I don't know if I want to have kids. She didn't say, I don't want to know if I don't want to have more kids.
No, she goes, me too. She agreed. Me too.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
She said that she wanted to have more kids? What a weirdo.
Me too. Me too.
I'm not convinced. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm confused. Did you see he posted like a photo or a video today of him riding in a private jet?
Nope.
I don't know what's going on with them. And I'm like, is he rich? Because, you know, we saw that one photo of, I think, Sean Kingston pretending he was at a private jet and he wasn't. Or maybe it was Little Bow Wow. I don't remember. You can't really believe everything you see on the internet. So I don't know. Like, because the wedding that they had was nice. Right. So I'm confused if they're rich or if they're just really good at pretending to be rich. So I'm not even sure.
Yeah. I don't know either. But they bug the shit out of me.
Well, yeah, they're my least favorite this season. Yeah. Like, when I see them, they're like my Sarper and Shekinah, but on...
I don't know. Renee is definitely my least favorite, but Tiger Lily's in close.
Oh, yeah. She irritates me. She irks me. I think it's her voice. All right, so we're going to come back tomorrow. Guys, we made it through with no technical issues. I'm so happy.
Yay!
So we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about The Other Way, which I think is episode 17 already. We're on episode 17. Oh, there's another couple on Before the 90 Days. This was episode 8 that we still haven't met. So I'm assuming things are going to go south with Sunny and Vea and also with Renee and Chitty. So I think that's going to open up the slot.
And also Tiger Lily's going home, so her story's done for a while.
Well, right. All they could really do is when she gets home is follow her applying for the visa. And then you're right, nothing. We're not going to really see anything else with that because they don't film you separately. It's just when you're there. So there'll be one more couple that we're going to meet on this season. And then it's another Orlando, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to meet that person soon.
We don't
so far.
As you end up with people like Mary and Brandon.
Don't even get me started. I can't with them. Okay, we're gonna come back tomorrow from the Other Way and Mama's Boy. I love Mama's Boy as well. If you guys aren't watching 1,000 Pound Sisters, we're gonna do like a little recap on that sometime this week too. There's a lot of drama, like a lot. Like I was watching and they don't even. Yeah, it's good. So we're gonna get into that too. Make sure you're following my co-host Carl. She's tagging this video. Make sure you're following me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, GeorgeMossey.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, type in the George Mossey Show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget my bestie Kim is on Pillow Talk right now. Go watch. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.